Hi everyone, so I am going to do a very impromptu reading today, and I can see my camera actually has a time limit on it. It's never had a time limit on it before, so I'm on a time limit today, but I'm going to try my best to do a message and not focus on the time. I mean, if anything happens, then it just means I have to splice the videos together, which I hate doing. Right, so this is going to be a reading about spiritual connection. It is going to be a reading with a proper spread for, I think it'll be for anyone who is seeking a spiritual connection. Yeah, we'll say it's for, I feel like I'm going to sneeze. It's going to be for anyone who desires and is seeking a spiritual connection. So the spiritual connection could be with somebody that you already know. It could be with someone that you haven't crossed paths with yet. We'll see what comes up. And this is inspired. I mean, I'm always someone who's wanted to, I think from a very, very young age, from childhood, I always wanted the real deal, the full package in terms of love. And bear in mind, this channel isn't suddenly going to become all about love. I've said that before. Even when I've done love readings, it's not going to be all about love. It's still very much about our path, our journey, learning about ourselves and life and whatever, storytelling, story sharing. But I went to a wedding yesterday. I was involved in a wedding for a family member. Beautiful, fantastic ceremony. And it wasn't just all about the ceremony, it was about the family. And it was just beautiful to observe. And there were a lot of really profound things that were said. And I saw that relationship, that marriage, that union between the people who were involved as a deeply spiritual connection. The way they talk to each other, everything. I mean, there was a speech at one point, and if any of my family watch this, and they're not happy that I've said what I'm going to say, well, I'm sorry, but it felt important to say. But yeah, there was a point where the groom made a speech and said that the glue, that what the partners have who are in the marriage is very tight, and it's like the glue of the connection is God. I mean, obviously I'm spiritual, so do I have a definition? I believe in a source, a creator. Do I sometimes I refer to it as God because it's just simple rather than trying to come up with a name or definition or whatever. But I very much feel everybody's entitled to their own belief, so there you go. But they said that God is the glue. They've got a tight bond with their partner, and they're willing to fight if anybody, even family, comes and tries to break it apart. And I just thought, wow, that's profound. But I like the fact that they said that God is the glue. For me, it would be spirituality is the glue. I'm not 100% in the sense of how that would work for me, but I guess because I'm spiritual, I believe that, well, if you have that tighter connection with someone, there's a spiritual or divine aspect to it that brings you together, and that is the glue, whether you want to call it God, whatever you want to call it. I do believe in spiritual connections. So yeah, that's what's inspired the reading. I'm going to get on with it because I've been talking for like 3 minutes already. So here are some of the oracle decks I'm going to use. This is a new one, Twin Flame Ascension. I have had this for, I don't know, like 3 months or something. I don't use it that often. I have tried to sort of move away from the twin flame sort of thing, but I do actually believe I have a twin flame. And I've tried to deny it for a very long time, but several years later, it's like, it's in your face. You can't, yeah, in its own way, it's in my face. So I got the book out of curiosity, got the deck out of curiosity after seeing someone use it and looking it up and everything. So I thought, you know what? I've used it in a few personal readings and it was very accurate. So I think I might just try it out today because it is about spiritual connections and a twin flame connection is spiritual. So we are going to begin. What am I going to do? Am I going to get oracle? I think I'm going to get oracle cards today. Or do I want to? No. I'm going to get the spread as usual. So it's going to look the same as the usual spread, but it will be different, to be honest. So I'm going to start off. I'm going to get an energy for, so this will be your energy, the energy of what you bring, what you can or do bring to the connection. Because as I say, it's if you may feel you're already spiritually connected to someone, or you may not have met someone yet, but So it is this is mainly, I'd say probably, I don't know, is it a singles read? I don't know. You know what? If you want to watch it, watch it. Whatever your relationship status is. This is the energy of what you can or do bring to a spiritual connection or to the spiritual connection. And you know what? Just bear with me. I can see the candle's gone out and it's going to distract me. So I'm going to light another one if I'm able to pause. Okay, we're back, and I don't know if you can tell, but we have a red candle now. So, as I was saying, your energy, so what you can or do bring to a spiritual connection, a blessed spiritual connection. Okay. And I don't know who, if anyone, this will resonate, but anyone that's seeking a spiritual connection, you never know, it might resonate with you. So what can you or do you bring to a spiritual connection? The Hermit. Okay. Let's get a card to show us the other person, the other half of this connection, whether you've met them or not, what can they or do they bring to a spiritual connection? And I'm thinking more along the lines of the positive traits, the strengths that they bring. So hopefully this Hermit is a strength that they can or do bring to a spiritual connection. Four of Pentacles. Is that a strength? Possibly for this particular deck. In any other deck, I'd be like, maybe not, because it's about being resistant, stagnant. But this one, I always say she's protecting something sacred. Right. This one, the middle card here, is going to be what is the glue? That key theme of glue, after hearing the groom make that speech about the glue. What is the glue of the connection? What's the glue? What holds it together? What's its strength? What's the glue of the connection, the glue and the strength of the spiritual connection, whether or not you've met them, whether it's going to happen in the future or if it's now. Okay, having trouble shuffling, but it's fine. We have strength is the strength of the connection, and Nine of Cups. That's nice. Fulfillment. There's a lot with strength as well, where it's not always literally just about strength. It's vulnerability as well, in a weird way. Should we put that like that? Yeah. So let's get a card for. Next, we're going to get a card for. Sorry, I've made notes on this because this is so impromptu. I've literally just come up with the spread right now as I was preparing the cards. Your needs from the partner, the person who's the other half of the spiritual connection, and the connection itself. What are your needs from the other person in the spiritual connection, the partner and the connection itself? What are your needs? Okay. Your needs are the High Priestess. Okay. What are their needs? What is the other half of the connections, the spiritual connections needs? I should come up with just a single word name for this, because for the other person, because the other half. What are their needs from a partner, which would be yourself, and the connection itself, whether or not you've met them already? We have Three of Swords. Shall I take it? I think I will. I feel like that's healing, to be frank. And I know I've said before that we can't heal people by ourselves. Like we can assist them, but it has to come from them. But I'm going to leave that there, to be honest, and see what clarifiers come up, or shall I? Yeah, I'm leaving it. It feels right. Other clarifiers will come up and make sense of it. Okay, so the next card, what will bring together the connection? What can or will bring the connection together? So this is kind of a bit of an advice card, but what can or will bring the connection together? So if you haven't met them, or if you haven't romantically become involved with each other, like say it could be a friend or something, or someone you've just met or whatever, what will or can bring the connection together, whether you've met each other or not? Ooh, a Tower. You know what, the Tower is my favorite card. I don't know why, I'm just a weirdo, but I do also get, I'm not gonna lie, and this, to me, this would not bring a connection together anyway, but I do get, it's very phallic to me. And I think this is the Tower that I mentioned in when I did the intimacy, sensuality, and your sexual side reading. I posted a picture in the community, because I felt like when I'd been seeing the Tower card for like a few weeks or months or whatever, it kept on looking very phallic to me, and it looked sexual and orgasmic, to be frank. That's the vibe I got from it. I'm not saying sex will bring the connection together. I mean, it could help, but yeah, it's a tower, but it does. This is a very phallic looking tower to me. I mean, look at it. It's phallic. Right. So next here we will have an outcome. So as much as I often say, oh, the tarot can't predict future, you know what? It kind of can to a certain degree. It can't change. Like, people still have free will, but it can give potential outcomes. So yeah, potential future outcome for this spiritual connection. Oh, justice. You know what? What better card could you want than justice? To me, that's even better than the 10 of Cups. Because you could get the 10 of Cups and it might not last. So if you get justice, then the right thing will happen for all, hopefully for all parties involved. But anyway, let's get a couple of oracle cards now. So I'm going to get a unicorns card, and I don't know how this will work or help, but let's see what comes out. So whatever else we need to know about this spiritual connection. What else do we need to know about the spiritual connection? And let's see if these cards take out the candle, because these are an awkward, huge deck to handle. Right, that's interesting. We have Goddess. Honor your divine feminine energy. See your inner beauty. Love every part of you. That's self-love, isn't it, really? Regardless of which partner it is, I feel like that's self-love. And then we have polarity. Ooh, that looks like a twin. It does actually look like a twin flame card, I'm not going to lie. But it is about integrate your shadow side. There can be no light without dark. Understand the law of polarity. It looks like masculine, feminine to me. I mean, I think we have to be very aware of our shadow side anyway. If we're going to be going into this, if you are someone who is seeking a spiritual connection, it probably is something that's going to transform you and be a mirror for your shadow side in one way or another. But it does look very masculine, feminine type energy. So I would imagine that it will show you a mirror in some way, shape or form of who you are or who you're not, to be frank. So what we need to know, I'd say self-love. You need to, that's just the obvious one, self-love, and be prepared to meet your shadow side. Not necessarily from them, but to discover something about your shadow side within the spiritual connection. Right. Let's see, what else do we need to know about this spiritual connection, if it will come out properly. Oops, we have purity. That's a beautiful card. Anything else? Delight. So I would say it will bring delight. The connection may have the power to purify you in some way, shape or form, or purify both of you. Or it could be that you need to purify yourself. So maybe you need to face your shadow side before coming into this. Let's read the message from the purity card, just because it might have something more relevant in there that we need to know about. Or it could be just in terms of intentions, actually. So I'm just going to read the message, like not the whole thing, just the main message. No matter what has happened in the past, everything can be fresh and new again. The purity of your soul is shining through everything that you encounter. You are entering into a period of grace. Simply open your heart and know that the best is yet to be. The past does not need to equal the future. Your future can be and will be shimmering, sparkling and bright. Old limiting patterns are dropping away. Recurring challenges are releasing. This is a time of redemption, forgiveness and holy healing. So what I'm getting from that, and from that polarity, and maybe from the Goddess card as well, well, I think you need to come into this with pure intentions. I mean, that's like a given, isn't it, really? I think you do need to come into it with pure intentions, but there may be something that about the connection that purifies both of you as well. And again, with the shadow side, you probably do have to face your shadows now, but it will still probably teach you more about your shadows as you go into it as well. I'm not saying it should be a toxic relationship, because you shouldn't have to suffer in a relationship regardless of whether it's spiritual or not. But it doesn't always have to be drama, does it, when you face your shadow side? I don't feel that it always has to be drama, but yeah, we'll see. So let's look at these cards. Let's get the clarifying deck out. So the glue of the relationship, or the spiritual connection. Well, pleasure for a start, with that Nine of Cups. Joy, fulfillment, pleasure. That's the glue. You'd enjoy each other's company, I should hope, in any relationship, but especially in a spiritual one. It's like fulfillment in every way, isn't it, really? It doesn't mean that you'll never argue or disagree or anything, but it just means that it should feel worth it, and overall, like, no matter what happens, it should be fulfilling. Like, you can overcome any challenges with that strength and vulnerability to open up, to share your strengths, your weaknesses, your joy, your pain, fears, dreams, everything. It should be very, very fulfilling and stand the test of time and everything, and any challenge. I really do think the vulnerability is important here though as well. So anything else to clarify strength and the Nine of Cups as the glue or strength of the connection? That makes me think of vulnerability, the Page of Pentacles, straight away. Anything else? You have, what is this? Temperance. That to me is spiritual connection in one word. I mean, it could be like divine. I'd say, okay, this is how I'm looking at it from these two, the perspective of these two. Page of Pentacles is a willingness. So I would say for this particular reading that you both need to have a willingness to be open to a spiritual connection or a deep, profound connection. I mean, are there people in the world who can end up in a profound connection without actually wanting it? Maybe, I don't know. But within this reading, it's telling me with the Page of Pentacles there that someone needs to be, in every sense of the word, practically and everything, open to a deep, spiritual, profound connection. And I guess that's where the vulnerability comes in. And I suppose you have to have intentions within it as well of what you, like where I talked about it being fulfilling in every way, that you're willing to share your strengths, weaknesses, blah, 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 to kind of know what your intentions are. I'm not saying make a massive list of they need to be this and need to have that. I mean, I have non-negotiables. I think, I can't remember where the list is now, but there's only like a few non-negotiables I have now with relationships. And you know what, I can't remember whether I should have brought them out for this, but they're things that I'd want from any human being, to be honest, not just from a romantic partner. Like, I don't know, I think honesty might be on there, but that's a non-negotiable for anybody. You want everybody to be honest with you, don't you? You don't want to be around liars. So yeah, let's get a little bit more on that. But yeah, so having being open to deep, profound spiritual connection, and yeah, the glue would be overcoming any challenges, being able to open up, sharing everything together, wanting it to be fulfilling, knowing how you want it to be fulfilling. Anything else? These are in reverse. I don't know if I'm going to take them in reverse. They probably do need to be in reverse, actually. So you've got 10 of Wands. You wouldn't want to struggle with it. It shouldn't be a struggle. I mean, yes, there will be challenges that you overcome. I think that was first. There will be challenges that you overcome, but Knight of Wands is making me think of fearlessness. That you trust that you have the ability to overcome any challenge as well. I think that would be the glue, where you don't go into it with fear thinking, oh my God, any little thing that happens, it's going to be over. You sort of like, no, we're going into this. We're going to go into this. I'm willing to go into this and fight for it. Is the vibe that I'm getting as well. Sticking together like glue. Her and the lion look like they're stuck to each other like glue, don't they? So, but there's no force there. It's very gentle, both gentle with each other. He could rip her throat out with his teeth, but he doesn't. He's just sitting there chilling. She's got her hand resting on him gently. She's not trying to force him. I mean, he has got a chain around his neck, but it's a loose chain. So yeah, let's put these aside. Let's look at that Hermit of what you can bring to the connection. And I would say initially it would be like a soul purpose, maybe, is the first thought that's coming to mind. But let's clarify that. You've got very spiritual cards, you have. The Hermit and the High Priestess, that's what you can bring. That's what you want from your partner. So yeah, you want it's a mirror, isn't it? Okay, this person, their energy is protecting what's sacred, but they have a card of their card of what they expect. I would say they expect not to be hurt, to be honest. But anyway, let's look at that Hermit card as what you can do or bring to the connection. Anything else? I'm just hearing the rain and wind outside, and I do actually have to go shopping after I've done this reading, so I'm not looking forward to it now, but it is what it is. Right, we've got a Tower again. So yeah, I think you bring to it's going to sound cheesy, but you can bring a beacon of light to this spiritual connection. I imagine as the Hermit, you've already gone on a soul journey. You've figured out soul purpose, soul journey. And there's a lot you've figured out where even if you're not financially massively stable or anything, there's something where you've experienced a soul journey, and now that's where you have a level of stability about you. It doesn't mean that everything's perfect. It just means you have a strong ability to cope with challenges, tower moments potentially. Anything else? Overcome victory. 6 of Wands is victory, isn't it? And then you've got the 8 of Cups. I mean, to me, that is a bit of a soul journey as well, where you've probably dealt with a lot of things that were disappointing, or where you didn't want to settle and you were willing to go off on a journey into the unknown to face those things. The Hermit kind of goes off into the unknown as well with their beacon of light, don't they? And they have their inner knowing. So I think you bring that experience of soul searching, really. Successfully soul searching, and the ability to overcome any challenge that may come up. Like you're ready for a profound, deep, like you can overcome anything. That's really intense. I like that. So that was what you can bring. It's beautiful. Let's see what the other person can bring. So 4 of Pentacles, I said that's like protecting what's sacred. So maybe you bring the beacon of light in terms of experience of soul searching and overcoming challenges. Maybe they're the protector, but let's see what comes out for that 4 of Pentacles, please. 3 of Swords again. What is going on with this? Okay, let's see what else comes out. Am I even going to post this with so many 3 of Swords coming out? Let's see. I knew Justice was there again. 10 of Swords. Have they experienced a lot of pain and overcome a lot of pain? Or what else is coming out for this person? 8 of Wands. Anything else? So protection, yeah. There's something about protection here. I'm not quite sure. Queen of Swords. Is she upright or is she in reverse? I'm going to put her back and try again because I'm not sure about that. Something fell off with it. One more. All right, what's this? Knight of Cups in reverse. Okay, so I'm getting the impression from the cards that have come out, I think they would take this very seriously. And that's where the protecting what's sacred comes into things. I'm going to assume, I mean, we've all probably been hurt in the past in some way, shape or form. Because they've been hurt in the past, I would say, obviously they're going to want things to turn out fairly going forward, moving forward in the future. I'm going to have to clarify the Eight of Wands on its own, but I would say that they would probably be very protective of the connection itself. Knight of Cups, in reverse, it looks, I might clarify that as well. I am thinking it's more along the lines of they don't want to get carried away with fantasy. So, you know, like when people get into relationships just based on that they're attracted to someone and then they think, or they fall in love straight away, which it's possible, isn't it, to fall in love, and then they think that it's all going to work based on that. I think this person would take it more seriously than that. Like, even if they fell in love with you at first sight, yeah, they'll acknowledge to themselves that they fall in love with you at first sight, but they want to make sure it's the real deal, that it is like a sacred, genuinely sacred spiritual connection. And once they've established that, then they will protect it very strongly, but they're not going to get carried away. You've got Eight of Wands there. Let's clarify the Eight of Wands. They've definitely been hurt in the past with that Three of Swords and Ten of Swords, as we all have, but there's something about those experiences that has made them very protective. I mean, they might be protective of their own heart, but I would imagine that if they are someone who's open to a spiritual connection and wants one, that they would definitely protect the connection. And who wouldn't want that? If you're going to be in that connection with someone, you do want someone who's going to fight for you, don't you? Or protect it. So clarify the Eight of Wands, please. Yeah, they want something solid. They want something solid. Even if their intuition is telling them what's what, it needs to be solid as well. Anything else for that Eight of Wands? They probably wouldn't want to rush into anything. Yeah, that's Seven of Swords for me in reverse, is that they here it's where the upright for me would be taking a risk. In reverse, it's that they're not going to take that. It would be a calculated risk for them. Like, they will listen to their intuition, but they're not gonna rush into it. I know the Eight of Wands does look like rushing, but because Eight of Wands is movement, but then you've got the Seven of Wands, which is protecting something sacred. So to me, that kind of slows it down. And then because you've got the Knight of Cups in reverse, that's like not getting carried away with the dream. Like, acknowledge the dream and acknowledge that you have the dream. If you meet someone and you have strong feelings for them, you acknowledge that, but you don't get carried away with it. You need it to be solid. This person wants to plant a solid seed. Let's clarify that Knight of Cups just to check, and then I'll put these cards back, actually, because we're going to have nothing left to clarify the other cards. So we have the World and Page of Wands. So they are willing to explore with the World and the Page of Wands. They're definitely willing to explore, but yeah, they've been they're going to be a little bit wary. They're not going to jump in. They're open, but with that Nine of Wands, that's a protective energy as well. They're not going to, as much as they're open, they're still going to have that little bit of wariness where they're just paying attention to see what works and what doesn't, to see if it is the real deal, I would say. So let's put these back in the deck, and hopefully I don't run out of time talking too much, which is a possibility with me. But as I say, if I have to splice it, I have to splice it. It's not the end of the world. So I will leave these. So you're the guiding light, they're the protector, apparently. Let's clarify your needs from the partner in the spiritual connection and the connection itself with the High Priestess. You got the Four of Cups. You want them to trust their inner knowing about this. You want them to trust the spiritual side of things and their inner knowing, and be willing to give based on that, and to allow that to guide them. Whether or not, I mean, that might be the lesson, actually. You've got polarity there. Maybe here you're more spiritual and they're more, they need more sort of practical evidence to back up the spiritual. But it does feel like you're like, yeah, we'll trust our intuition and let that guide us. And yeah, based on that, we'll give and take and open up. And hopefully things will progress from there. I mean, the Four of Cups, it's an offer, isn't it? It's an offer that somebody isn't quite taking, and there's a bit of anxiety there. So, as I say, that's potentially where they may need more physical evidence. I know this is your needs, but I would say you don't want them to reject it. You want them to sort of accept what their intuition is telling them. Let's get a clarify for that Four of Cups, just to make sure. That's where somebody blocks their intuition, isn't it? Two of Swords. The Wheel of Fortune here kind of feels like destiny. You've got the Empress. Okay, I feel, yeah, Seven of Swords. You want them to see it for what it is, to see the connection for what it is, and trust intuition. It's the same thing that I've been saying. To see you for who you are as the Empress in a spiritual connection. You would be kind of Empress energy. to be honest with you as well. But I would say above all, you want them to trust their intuition. I'm going to put these back. And to not be resistant and anxious about it. Just be open to it, be willing to give and take and try, see how it goes. What are their needs from you and the connection? And again, I would say not to not get hurt, to be frank, but let's see. They may have a massive fear of getting hurt. So 2 of Wands. What's the word? Decisiveness. I think they want decisiveness with that 2 of Wands showing up there. I know it's like the opposite of what the card is, but that's what I'm getting. I'd imagine that they want decisiveness and they want to be certain, although there's no guarantee. So I'm not sure how that'll work, but it's almost like they want to be certain so that they don't get hurt again. What did I say about certainty? You've got the Knight of Pentacles, and that person is very methodical. It would be very practical. Evidence. They want evidence to work on, to move forward. You've got Judgment there. Let's have a look at Judgment. Let's get a clarifier for Judgment, please. Oh, that's just, to me, that, yeah, good decisions. Ace of Swords and Judgment together for me is about making good decisions. They want to be clear that this really does have the potential to be their 10 of Cups. It's like they want, as I said, like they want practical evidence that this is going to be the right path to choose so they don't get hurt. But it's really weird. It's, as I said, it's the polarity. You're basing it on, it looks like you want it to be based on intuition, trusting your intuition to guide you that this is the right thing to do. But they want practical evidence to back up whatever they're thinking or feeling. So that may be a challenge that needs to be overcome. I didn't actually pick a card to overcome. Well, we've got a card, What Will Bring It Together, which is kind of an advice card. So that could address any challenges, potentially. So that was what they wanted or needed from the connection. They need certainty, which is, I don't know, that's a challenge to overcome. Next, we're looking at what will bring the connection together, which is the Tower. That's an interesting one. I don't know what's going to come out for this. So a tower is needed to bring the connection together. Maybe it's a spiritual awakening, to be honest, because the Tower to me is kind of, it can be a spiritual awakening, especially if it's with the Death card, which isn't here at the minute. But that can be a spiritual awakening to make you sort of aware that about spirituality in general, or maybe it's just that there are things about you that have needed to be worked on, and the only way that can happen is through a spiritual awakening. But let's see. Why is that Tower there, please? So we have the Empress and the Star. Wow, that's healing. The Empress here is nurturing. The Star is healing. Anything else? Nope. No, doesn't feel right. That didn't feel right. Try that again. Anything else? Okay, there we go. Right, we got the Page of Cups and 2 of Pentacles. Anything else? I think it will take spiritual awakening or transformation at the very least to bring things together. And it's possible that one or both of you have already experienced some sort of spiritual awakening, because I suppose if you want a spiritual connection, then you need to be spiritually awakened. But you're going to need to, I mean, Empress can be self-love as well, can't it? That's my alarm because I'm going to have to leave the house soon. So as I said, the Empress can be self-love, self-nurturing. The Star is healing. You would need that to be open. Page of Cups, again, is like vulnerability, isn't it? Because once you've been through that kind of spiritual awakening and you start to trust your intuition more and the unseen and the unknown, then you are more open to crazy stuff like spiritual awakenings, spiritual connections. So I think that's needed to be open to this. The 2 of Pentacles would be the back and forth, wouldn't it? Of where you have that, because Page of Cups can be actually Page of Cups and 7 of Cups can be about psychic type things. You would need to have a spiritual, deeply profound spiritual experience to be open to that kind of connection, rather than going back and forth on, oh, is what I'm thinking or feeling real, or is it an illusion? Because 7 of Cups can be an illusion. I mean, I'll clarify the 2 of Pentacles, but That would be the lack of belief, wouldn't it? And yeah, that's where this is trying to clear confusion, trying to figure something out, if it's real or not, illusions. Seven of Swords, illusions, lies. So yeah, I think a spiritual awakening is key. As I say, one or both of you may have already experienced that. However, if you're at different stages, that can impact things. We'll put these back. Yeah, that can influence things because there are different stages to it. So you would both need to be at a stage within a spiritual awakening, because does spiritual awakening ever end, or is it just a constant flow of awakening? You would both need to be at a stage where you are ready to open up. You'd really need to be ready to open up to a spiritual connection after having an awakening. So I think that's the key that will bring things together. So if you've had an awakening, maybe this person hasn't, or maybe you're just at different stages and you're not on the same page yet. And his page of Cups and Page of Pentacles is there. Yeah, you may not be on the same page yet. So let's look at an outcome, a potential outcome for this. And as I say, I don't know who this could resonate for, but I just thought I'm going to do it because I feel inspired. The wedding really inspired me, and not just the ceremony, but just everything that was said and just the whole energy of everything. It was just really beautiful to witness it, and very it's I was honored to be a part of it. So let's look at justice as a potential outcome for this spiritual connection, and see what we get. We've got the Devil, which, I mean, justice, it's clarifying justice, so that's good because that means challenges have been overcome. Whatever's been holding anyone back or holding things back, the connection itself should be overcome in one way or another. We have the Queen of Cups. That might be to do with trusting feelings or opening up about feelings, potentially, with that Queen of Cups showing up. Opening up about feelings or trusting feelings or sharing feelings so that you can bring the connection together. And remember what I said, that at the wedding, the groom made a speech that there were three people in the relationship: God and them and their partner. And as I said, for me, it would be the God part. Well, yeah, it could be called God, but it would be that the spiritual, it's like spiritually blessed in by whatever you want to believe in. So the spirituality part would come in, that brought us together in a way, and then it would be us. But the spirituality is the glue. Why is the Hermit there? Let's get another one. This is potential outcome. Okay, Ace of Pentacles. Let's clarify the Hermit on its own, please. We've got the Ten of Pentacles. Okay. Two of Cups, okay. And the Wheel of Fortune. We'll get one more. Okay, I think I know what this is saying, to be honest. But Magician, okay, that way. Let's get one more after the Magician and leave it at that. Okay, yeah. I'm leaving it at that. Right, I think this Hermit, if there is anyone in this connection, whether it's you or the other person, who hasn't reached the relevant part of, well, not reached the relevant part, but you're not on the same page in terms of spirit, where you are in your spiritual awakening, this is that soul searching energy that is likely to happen, because this is an outcome type energy, and justice is saying that it's gonna work out in the end, isn't it? Hopefully that you do connect. If it's a spiritual connection, that's the whole point of the reading, is about a spiritual connection coming together, hopefully. But there's some soul searching here that will lead to someone understanding or knowing or realizing, having some sort of inner knowing about what they want the legacy to be, what they want long-term commitment to be, who they connect with, maybe how they want to connect, and that will change everything. That will allow this connection to be manifested. Let me just get one after that King of Cups, because the King of Cups, they say they know how they feel, but they don't necessarily express it, or they express it. Actually, I don't need another card. They express it at the right time, don't they, when they're ready to express it. So I think once the soul searching, or whatever, however far along someone needs to be in their spiritual awakening, once that happens, then it comes together. basically. And then you've got the Ace of Pentacles at the end, which is where it begins. That's when you plant the seed. So as I say, this could be someone that you've never met, and it's all a work in progress in the background, potentially. You never know. Keep an open mind. It could be someone that you acquainted with in some way, shape or form. It resonates with you how it resonates. Take it as you will. Let's get you some more advice, and I have 5 minutes before the battery, not the battery, sorry, it runs out of film. Well, not film technically, but you know what I mean, time. So I'm gonna get, let's get a Whispers of Love first of all. The Whispers of Love card. Any further advice or anything else we need to know about this spiritual connection, please? True love. You've got true love, which I will put, I'm going to put it here. I think you can see that there. We also have, okay, so the true love card says this love is once in a lifetime. Well, if it's a spiritual connection, hopefully. And the only thing that is really to love, shift your focus back to love. I think that's about needing to believe in love, really. As I said at the beginning, there's a need for both participants in the spiritual connection to be open and willing to believe in it, for it to be something that they both want and are open to in this particular reading. Let's get one more out of curiosity. Oh God, we've got quite a few now. Right, express love through gifts. A small token of love can convey great appreciation. I mean, it can be about gifts. It can also be just saying that you, it's how you treat each other, isn't it, really? Physically, how you treat each other. How you need to obviously learn each other's love languages. It may not be gifts, it might be something else, but this is just one way of saying. I think the, what do you call it, minister or whatever at the wedding I went to had 3 key things he said are needed in a marriage, and I'm not going to remember them now. 3 key points. One of them was to appreciate your partner, and celebrate your partner, and there was another one, and I can't remember what it is. Give me 1 second. I remembered. I had to pause the video. No, he was saying about love in the connection and the way you treat your partner. Demonstrate your love, celebrate your love, and appreciate your love and your partner. And I thought that was brilliant. So yeah, this would be the demonstrate your love part. And then you have consider your foundation. Look at how committed you are to love. That to me is the openness, how open and willing are both parties to, sorry, that's my alarm again. How open are both parties to a spiritual connection and willing to fight for it, basically, and to keep going and to never give up. Let's get you, try one of these Twin Flame Ascension cards. And I don't know if I'll be reading the whole message because I'll probably run out of time on the video, which I don't want to happen. Although I suppose splicing 1 minute on the end won't kill me, will it? So this is a really weird deck to shuffle. Yeah, to be frank, I'm gonna hit the mark anyway, so it's not the end of the world. We have blossoming, one with self, blossoming, and staying grounded. So I think what I'm gonna do is I may cut this video off right now, because I think the memory is a bit weird, so I think I'll have to splice it. So I'm going to cut it off right now and change the settings and get more memory. Okay, I'm back with slightly more memory, not that much. Right, so if I can find the cards in this book, because it's the weirdest book ever. In fact, I think I'm going to pause to find the pages to save time. Just bear with me. Right, I've got both my pages ready. Hope, oh no, I've lost one, haven't I? I think I've lost one already. That was clever. Okay, just a minute. I think I remember what page it was on. Yeah, 50. Right, so this blossoming card here, one with self. Becoming one with yourself is similar to a lotus flower blossoming. It takes a long time for the root system to cultivate the universal intelligence within, which contains the blueprint for the beauty that follows, displaying pure perfection. This card is an indication that your genius within is awakening and your brilliance is about to emerge. As you continue to tap into the hidden power that is stored within your highest self, it provides you with extraordinary wisdom. Your greatest potential is ready to bloom and illuminate your inner beauty, which will magnetically attract your heart's desires. This ever-unfolding process is constructed so that you become one with yourself. Be willing to see your true reflection in the mirror shown to you by others without judgment. Spend time with you, collect your fragments and accept all of you, your life and the world. It will help you balance your ego and your heart. Show up as love, lead with love and share love. Let your life be an example of passion in motion, making your possibilities endless. That's really beautiful. That to me, it's self-love. It's also awakening, isn't it? Because all these things you go through during a awakening, there are mirrors that show you who you are and who you're not, and you learn to accept yourself, love yourself, and you learn how to show up and be willing to be a part of a spiritual connection if that's something that you want. Let's look at that generator card. So the generator, staying grounded. Your energetic vibration is elevating, so it is important that you stay grounded. As you maneuver through life situations, collecting soul fragments along the way will help you remain in balance. Staying centered harnesses the power to generate high frequency energy, which is used for a greater purpose. The generator card indicates that your inner masculine needs to stand up, speak up, and show up for your inner feminine desires. This will help you stay empowered. While remaining in balance, feeling secure from within will attract the energetic presence of your divine masculine's energy and open you up to receiving their support in your physical world. Their magnetic presence will provide a strong foundation to bring your creative intelligence into reality. Practice finding stillness amid chaos. This helps your inner cosmos stay in harmonic balance as you align with the essence of who you are becoming. Connect with nature, walk barefoot in the grass, practice visualization to anchor your inner light into Mother Earth and meditate on a regular basis. Again, part of that is about awakening. It's soul searching, isn't it? It's about, I mentioned earlier with that when the Hermit was under here, as your the energy of what you can bring to the connection. It's that beacon of light, isn't it? That having gone through awakening very likely, or done soul searching, and being able to overcome any challenges because of what you've been through during awakening, and you both need to have that. Really, I know it talks about, it's kind of giving the responsibility to the feminine of being secure and empowered and blah blah blah, but both of you need to do that. Really, I'm not gonna lie, it does trigger me a little bit with a lot of twin flame stuff, where it almost feels like it's all on the feminine to do the work, isn't it? When it seems like, and I don't know if it's just me, and feel free to pipe in and put comments about this if you want, but a lot of stuff I've seen from readers or read in general about twin flames, it's like the feminine has to do all the hard work, and then the masculine kind of gets a bit of an easy ride. And maybe it's just me being judgmental or bitter or whatever, but it really does feel like that. So yeah, it does trigger me slightly when I hear that the feminine has to do this and then it will inspire the masculine and blah blah blah. I'm not saying that we shouldn't be doing our work anyway for ourselves and our inner work and everything, but it's just like, it kind of gives a feeling of you're not deserving in a weird sort of way, and probably that's just my assumption, but it's almost like saying, oh, if you don't do this and this, then you're not deserving of such and such. And it's like, well, that's not fair, because no one's perfect, are they? And there's always work to be done. Like, even if you did connect with, have a marriage or whatever with this person you're in a spiritual union with, you're always going to be doing work on yourself. Both of you will. There's always going to be lessons to learn and room for improvement, and things that you learn about the connection and improvements you make within the connection. So at which point do people become deserving? Like, how close to perfect do you need to be deserving? It doesn't, you know what I mean? It's a bit of a weird contradiction is all I'm saying. But if anybody wants to share any comments on that, feel free. I just do honestly get a little bit triggered, because I don't want to feel like I've gone through awakening for several years, and then you meet someone who's, I mean, it's not to say that you want someone to suffer, but it's a bit tough if it's all on you, and then it's like they benefit from your healing and they just go through a tiny little blip. If that, I don't know, that's an exaggeration, but that's kind of the feeling I get. As you can tell, I'm triggered. So, but anyway, that's the reading. I hope there was something useful in there for you, even if it didn't resonate perfectly. There was a little bit of something that you could take away from it. Again, feel free to comment and give your perspective if you have any opinions on this masculine feminine thing. Even if you're feeling bitter and triggered about it, get it out your system. It might help. But thank you for watching the video, and your weekly readings are also up for each individual zodiac sign, and monthlies are up for September as well. I will be working on monthlies for October, which has come around really quickly, and it's my birthday month too. But I will be working on weeklies for October as well. So until the next reading, take care.